Hi and welcome. I'm your host, Kayla, of God's Village, where you come as you are and change as you go, for we're aiming to learn more about Jesus and become more like him. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a movie that I recently watched. It was called Idiocracy, and it's pretty much about how the world dumbed down, and these two people were in a sleep capsule, and I think it was, I don't remember, it was 500 or it was just a couple of years or decades ahead, and they were in a sleep capsule. And when they finally woke up, it was like the whole world turned dumb. The whole world was just filled with like rot, disgust, garbage. It just looked out of order, and it seemed like there was no smart people allowed. Not allowed, but that existed. It was like they extinct. And the joke was like, stupid people, I shouldn't say stupid people, but the joke was people that aren't the smartest made the most kids. And that's what happened. People that were intelligent didn't make enough kids for the world to go around. So just people that were idiots, hence the name Idiocracy, just ruled the world. And you saw how everything just looked crazy. And my boyfriend and I, we were watching it, and it was just crazy to joke and laugh at the movie, but we thought about it and was like, yo, this is low-key today's time, even though sometimes movies can be the extreme version of it. But it's the fact that at a certain point, it's getting a little truth, because not a lot of people can create or do anything if they were to be brought in the past or to recreate the future if stuff were to go down. And I also wanted to talk about, I shouldn't have watched this, I know, like Aliens, because I do like the series, the sequel, and it's the fact that many people keep coming back to their old mistakes because they are too connected to certain things. And the lessons I thought of when Idiocracy is always choosing the option to be lazy, always choosing the easier route, and how in the long term that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help yourself, that doesn't help your partner, that doesn't help the future you, that doesn't help your future family or descendants. So it's just, though, pretty much exercising your brain, doing the stuff that you got to do, read a book, actually do some research, not chat GPT the whole thing, expand the mind. Not to say like your whole future depends on it or the whole world depends on it, but your goal depends on it. God's will depends on it, because if you're too busy worried about entertaining yourself and not getting into how things work or how things work out for you and how to get things done and pretty much learn how to do certain things. I know that's a weird sentence to say, but too many times we're just here to get an answer just to pass whatever quiz we have, and many times we don't actually take the time to learn what we are taking a test for, and we just go about life just being like, oh, so confident in Google, so confident in chat, so confident in the fact that there's an answer out there that we don't have to sit down and think or ponder. I forgot what book it was, but I know when King Solomon asked for wisdom and he sat down and talked in Proverbs, I believe, right? It's the fact that times like that we don't really have or want to get into. Nowadays, people are like, oh, I don't want to think, or I don't want to, I just want to get it done and call it a day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm part of that too, but the lesson I could say is how it's important to push yourself to do certain works. I struggle with that many times. When I have free time, I choose, I'm not gonna lie, to watch something. I'm low-key bringing it back, taking it down, replacing that entertainment with God in sense of reading more books about not only faith, but how things, psychology work, or just certain stuff that can build relationships, not only with me to random people, but even in my previous relationships. And it's important to know that there's different types of topics you can expand your mind on, and excuse me, that's my alarm. And you should take it account. Like for me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not into pop culture at all, and I could see how sometimes it could be detrimental, but it's very important to be into certain current events, certain current news. Like I remember the war, dang it, I'm about to expose myself. There was a war going on, And then I was like, oh, I heard that it's finished. And then my friend was like, no, Kayla, it's still going on. And I was like, oh, I just read it somewhere that it was finished. And it like blew my mind because I was so trustworthy in one post to just say, oh, since they said it, it's done. Let me not, back it up. And that's why I was going back to the research, because it's very important to know where you're getting your wisdom from, know where you're getting your resources from. Not every time we should just be obedient to anything, and that's the dangerous part, because God even teaches us that we have to not just question. We should not just question everything that's handed to us, but we should have some discernment. We should have some wisdom, because God didn't ask for puppets. He didn't ask for puppets to just blindly obey and be obedient and follow his every word, but to sit down and ponder. Because many times, if I was just be like, oh, I just obey God, I had questions, especially when I was a first believer. I had questions, many questions, and the fact that God was able to answer them, and to know that there is an answer, and to know that I did the work to look for it too, was a blessing, because it holds value. It actually makes it more, what's the word I'm looking for? It just something. When you do the research, when you put in the work, whatever you learned and obtained, it holds more value, and you remember it more, and it's more important to you. So I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Let's not be lazy people. Let's be out here doing the works and show that we're not even to be like belittled by other animals. Like, we have a brain for a reason, and let's use it to think. Let's use it to actually expand and do it for good. There's probably more lessons in this, but right now it's supposed to be a draft, but you never know. I post drafts. So yeah, let's work on that. And for Alien, I had to bring that back. Alien, it's just decision making and knowing the values and decisions, because the reason why there's a whole franchise is because people are not really taking the time to go over their options, and the options that they keep going towards is to save the 2 people out of the 50. 2 people over the 50, they keep trying to come back for it when there's a danger. And it's like, I understand they hold value in your heart, but if it's over 500 or 2,000 people, you should not go back and risk the life of 5,000 or 2,000. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm taking it too personal. We'll never know. But thank you. Goodbye.